Welcome to Reaction Sports, your home for some of the best action sports from around the world. In this episode, we're heading to the south of Spain for the Mediterranean Epic, a grueling mountain bike race. Then we're in the Pyrenees for the snowboard category from the first round of the Freeride World Tour in Vaquera Perez, Spain. Then it's off to Brazil for the GKA Kitesurf Final in Taiba. We travel to Indonesia to kick off the 2023 season of F1 H2O with a spectacular round in Lake Toba. We drop into the penultimate round of the e-scooter championship in Marseille, France.
Oh, the name's down! The hard ball as well!
Then it's off to Olbia, Italy for the runabout category from the final round of the Aquabike World Championship. So sit back, relax, and get ready for the action.
Oh, super hard.
It's hard, but fun. From the 9th to the 12th of February, Oropesa del Mar once again became the main focus of attention for the mountain bike community. 4 days of intense riding awaited those who dared to take on the 6th edition of the Mediterranean Epic. And this time, they would be spending more time than ever in the saddle.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top!
The first stage repeated a format that is becoming more and more attractive for everyone. The time trial by Rotor. Undoubtedly the most explosive day that served as a first contact with the hardship provided by the mud, water and humidity. The 19-kilometre route with more than 600 metres of elevation change took the participants from the Torre del Rey to Oropesa del Mar at sea level to the Oropesa antennas at an altitude of more than 400 metres. In the women's category, the young Louisa Dauberman, only 20 years old, finished with the best time ahead of Emily Johnston and the Swiss Janina Wust. The men's podium was made up of Andreas Seewald, Christoph Lukasik and Georg Egger, winner of the last edition of the Mediterranean Epic.
It's the first time here. I love this race and it's always hard for the beginning, but the days get better.
The women's AFCON is coming to Bein Sports. 12 national teams gather in Morocco to compete in the 15th edition of this thrilling tournament from July 5th through the 26th on Bein Sports.
So bright, my aura blinding. Diamonds in my mind, the glimmer shines all night. Beaming so divine, my colors intertwine, making designs. I'm gonna make my own lane, nothing's gonna get in my way. I don't wanna wait, no time to waste. Come on, let's chase the sun. Open the gates, trust and fate. Nothing's gonna rain on my parade. Pick up the pace, don't be late. Come on, let's chase the sun. I'm gonna make my own lane. Nothing's gonna get in my way. I don't wanna wait, no time to waste. Come on, let's chase the sun. Open the gates, trust and fate. Nothing's gonna rain on my parade. Pick up the pace, don't be late. Come on, let's chase the sun.
In this second stage, the riders moved on to Castellón de la Plan. The real start of the competition was about to begin. A stage that, although it started and finished in the same place as in previous editions, offered a long list of new trails. 80 kilometres long with 2,150 metres of accumulated elevation gain, this was the second longest stage in the history of the race, and probably the one that could be considered the Queen stage in terms of concentrated difficulty. Seewald had difficulty keeping pace with the best riders in the first part of the stage and was forced to ride against the grain all day. In the women's race, Louisa Dauberman attacked in the first quarter of the course to go solo, and from then on, she only increased her gap as the kilometres went by. Lucas Baum and Georg Egger did not hide and kept up a lively pace at all times. Baum and Egger took with them another German, Sascha Weber, and it seemed the three could make their way together. But Egger, winner of the Mediterranean Epic 2022, would prove to be the strongest of the day and escaped alone to a victory that would give him also the overall leader's jersey.
The stage was longer than last year. Last year it was about 60 Ks, today 80 Ks, so it was a bit harder. In the beginning it was a big group, and everyone tried to push hard and get rid of each other, so I tried to save some energy in the beginning and go full gas in the end, and it worked out pretty well.
Today's podium consisted of Georg Egger, Lucas Baum and Sascha Weber. In the women's category, Louisa Dauberman climbed once again to the top of the podium alongside Janina Wust and Emily Johnston.
That was really hard today. I tried to follow in the beginning, but then my shape is just not good enough to be in front. So yeah.
Today's stage was the perfect showcase to show the world the contrasts of a region where just a few minutes from its famous beaches, you can find an exceptional network of trails for mountain biking. The first part of the course was a rolling one, but Simon Stieban and Vincent Dawn decided to attack, leaving the chasing group a minute behind. The women's competition seemed to be decided in favour of Louisa Dauberman after winning the first two stages and having almost 7 minutes lead in the general classification. But Janina Wust never gave up. The moments of vigilance between the two alternated with attacks, and Wust would eventually achieve her goal of unhooking the young German. On the last climb, the race was blown apart again by Egger's push. Only Frey and Seewald held on, and the three came together to the finish line in a sprint that would see Frey take the win with Egger second and Seewald completing an all-German podium. The good news for Wust was that as she raised her arms as stage winner, Dauberman had been overtaken by Colombia's Monica Calderon and Sweden's Therese Andersson.
Mañana tendrá que ser a superar.
The last stage of the longest edition in the history of the Mediterranean Epic has also added extra kilometres to its route. The 52 kilometres of this final day were once again spectacular and included the emblematic path along La Concha beach on a day when Egger and Dauberman, were aiming to defend their leads. The members of the JBG2 team were in charge of a leg-destroying pace from the first climb, and that intense pace was self-selecting for the leading group. But even the leader, Georg Egger, showed his first signs of weakness in the entire race. The Mediterranean epic offered surprises in its route right up until the last day. The descent of Macha Camazos has served as a stimulus to see a new day of intense battles between the best bikers of the XCM peloton. On an exceptional day with sunshine and perfect temperatures, riders and fans were able to enjoy the beauty of this route that unites the sea and the mountains in all their splendour. Pavel Burness attacked to manage to open a gap between him and the chasing group. The Pole entered the finish line as the winner of the stage.
Yesterday I had a bad luck. Basically not bad luck, it was my fault, so I crashed and TC was gone. But the whole race was super nice, very well organized, very technical, super fast. Super explosive, so yeah, we are happy with the team, with our performance, and looking forward for the next year.
Dauberman attacked from the start and took the stage as if it were an XCO race. She rode at full speed from start to finish and managed to ride solo from the very first meters and maintained her lead until the finish line.
Today I felt pretty good and I attacked from the beginning on and then just rode alone the whole stage, and yeah, I'm happy. It was a good training for the next World Cups in cross country.
In the overall, Georg Egger managed to repeat his overall victory of 2022. Lukasik moved up to second place and Martin Stosek completed the podium. In the women's category, Luisa was the fastest, accompanied by Janina Vost and Colombian Monica Calderon. The Mediterranean epic comes to an end, but it's gone another step further in terms of the level and the amount of participants, the media coverage, the routes, and of course, fun. A delicious Valencian paella along with the warm Mediterranean sun awaited participants, friends and family. But from today on begins the path to the 7th edition of the race. It will be hard, but also epic.
Welcome to Bein, Spain for the first stop of the Freeride World Tour 2023. Located in the Val d'Aran, a spectacular valley in the Pyrenees Mountains offering vast alpine terrain and copious snowfall, this fantastic resort is an ideal Freeride World Tour destination. After a successful first edition in 2022, the locals have been anxiously awaiting the Freeride World Tour's return to this festive locale in the Spanish Pyrenees for the Bein Pro. Michaela Davis-Meehan's first run back on tour ends with a disappointing front punch. Rookie Estelle Rizzolio loves the fresh Spanish snow, but bites off more than she can chew, dropping a very big cliff. Reigning world champ Tiffany Perrotin goes even bigger than her rookie compatriot, but ends up with the same result, ragdolling down the slope. Last year's world title runner-up Erica Vikander is as stylish as always and stays on her feet from the top to the bottom of the face. Anna Orlova is another rider making a comeback to the tour, and the former world number 2 sticks some solid drops here in the Spanish Pyrenees. This is Katie Anderson out of Fernie Alpine Resort in British Columbia, Canada. The 27-year-old finished 5th here in Bein last year and will be aiming much higher this time around. Katie's lining up her first jump here and sticks it clean. Former World Cup border cross competitor enjoys a few powder turns and launches another clean air with a perfect landing. It looks like Katie is loving the conditions and sets up a third straight air with the grab into another untracked landing here on the Bassiver face. Traversing over toe side now, the former world number 2 sends one last ollie over the rocks, no problem on the landing, and does a few celebratory turns in the powder field on her way to the finish area. The Spanish crowd is going crazy, and Katie Anderson is looking pretty stoked about her performance as well. Here's another look at Katie's big air. The judges will appreciate the grabs on both of them. That's 80 points and first place for a fired-up Katie Anderson. Congratulations, Katie Anderson, taking her first ever victory for a great start to the Freeride World Tour 2023, with Anna Orlova and Erica Vikander joining her on the podium.
I'll be honest, I was really nervous at the start with the conditions, and the snow ended up being really good. I'm really stoked that all the girls made it down safely. I really like Bakira, and I love meeting all the people here. That's my favorite part.
Last year's world number 3, Cody Bramwell, picks a line mostly through the hard-packed parts of the face and just can't keep his landings under control. Mexico's first ever rider on tour, Liam Rivera, has a few technical issues in the tricky conditions, but puts on an impressive performance nonetheless. Another rookie, Enzo Nilo, shows his freestyle credentials, but gets tripped up by the variable snowpack as well. After 2 years away due to injury, Jonathan Penfield's riding is as silky smooth as always in his comeback to Freeride World Tour competition. Unlucky landing a nose bone into the powder at the top of the face, last year's runner-up to the world title, Camille Armand, shows his class, stomping a laid-out backflip at the end of what could have been a contest-winning run. 37-year-old Ludovic Guillaudia is the senior statesman amongst the snowboard men. Since his rookie year in 2012, he's dropped off and requalified for the Tour twice, but had his best season ever with 2 podiums in 2022. He's setting up his first feature, a quick double down through and over those rocks, then brushing off speed on his heels and into a toe side powder turn as he heads towards a big rock. Ludo sticks a solid drop and lays straight into a few more turns to get things back under control, then gets some serious airtime off that last feature, just managing to hold on to the landing. That was one heck of a run for the Frenchman. 86 points, and Ludo Guillaudia takes over the lead in the snowboard men category. This is 23-year-old rookie Holden Samuels out of Big Sky, Montana, who topped last season's North American Freeride World Qualifier rankings with wins at the Revelstoke Kicking Horse and Big Sky 4-star events. Holden starts off with an ollie onto the hard pack, so having some speed control issues, but then sends a big backside 360 over that wind lip, hanging onto the landing, into a few turns, and a big slash to set up this last feature, the same as Ludo, but with a different line. No problem on the landing, and a straight line to the finish for Holden Samuels. With a score of 90 points, Holden Samuels takes over the hot seat from Ludo Guillaudia. We have another American in the gate now who also resides in Montana. This is 23-year-old Bridger Bowl local Michael Mon. He's the defending champion here in Bakira Barrette, winning the event in his first ever descent as a rookie on the Freeride World Tour. He really enjoys the ambiance and the snow here in this resort in the Spanish Pyrenees. Michael heads into the top of this couloir to get things started, setting up for a first Indy nosebone over those rocks and riding away clean. Onto his heel edge and into a few turns to regain control before hitting this smaller feature, and now aiming for this diving board and turning that into a double. He's got some serious speed now and sends a straight ollie off that little wind lip. Luckily, the slope is flattening out and Michael gets things back under control, There's one last ollie and a great face shot for Michael Mon. Here's the opening jump, an Indy nosebone with a steep landing, and another floating drop down there for Michael Mon. And that's the score of 93.33 and first place for Michael Mon.
The run was full throttle. I was really pushing it there, but an avalanche came down in the morning and took out pretty much my whole line, so then had to pick a different line and go right up, and so I felt a little on edge about it, but I didn't really inspect the part that I hit very much. At the top air I focused on a lot, so yeah, just was lucky just to be there with everyone.